Yeah. Okay. What I was saying.
Okay, so we had a little bit of technical difficulty, but we're back. And we'll pick up where you left off. You were talking about they took you and were showing you the East Coast and the West Coast.
Yeah. From one end to the other. They showed me water coming in all the way to the mountains. And they showed me a lot of devastation that the United States is going to come through. And what I want to say, it is not World War III when it happens. We are very, 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 and when I say very, I mean very close for it to come. They've been working on the digital ID stuff since 2014. That's a whole nother topic. But anyway, while I was in
Yeah.
the craft, they just showed me a lot of stuff that was coming. And what that is like, let me explain it like this. You know, when you have your kids and you tell them, it's time to get up, it's time to get up, it's time to get up, you know, and then maybe they don't get up, they're ignoring you. So then you resort to maybe take a spoon with a pan. Now, I'm just setting examples. A spoon with the pan and you start hitting it.
Right.
Get up, get up. You know,
Mhm.
it's almost like being in a military base or something. You know, like when they say up at
Mhm.
5 a.m. and you are not getting up, then they have to resort to getting, you know, doing something more drastic to wake you up. That's what's
Yep.
been going on. So now, no, people are not paying attention. And so the next thing to come is going to be like a spanking. So now we're going to get
Right.
spanked.
Right.
Okay. That's going to wake a lot of people up. But then people are going to go crazy. You know, like when this happens, instead of people
Yeah, if they're not aware.
coming together, right, coming together.
Yeah.
See, okay, what is going on is this. The evil that is in this world has united. Whereas light workers and people of love and light, and even let me do it from a Christian perspective, even the people in the churches, when the pandemic happened, okay, when it happened, everybody, like when you and I went to the store, me and you were the only ones without masks. You would have thought that me and you had the plague and they were all safe. They was all walking around,
Yeah.
you know, like zombies and stuff. That's pretty, you know, nobody
Yeah.
getting touching each other, nobody having communication and this and that and the
Yeah.
other. That is called
They fell
control.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they want to
they
separate
showed
it.
me,
Yeah.
yes, because that's how they okay, through disasters,
That's
through
how they win.
destruction, and
The,
through fear, and everybody, instead
yeah.
of everybody coming together, they separate.
Yeah. Because divided we
And
fall.
that's, yes, yeah, yeah, that's exactly how it
Mm-hmm.
all is. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, it feels
Yeah.
good to talk about all this
We're getting
stuff.
ahead. It
Yeah,
does.
because I
It
have to
does feel
hope
good. But
it does, because
go ahead.
I look, I was going to church for this one church for 2 years, and I had uh, a premonition from the Lord, and I was sleeping one night, and it woke me up out of a dead sleep. The Lord did, and He told me to go give this preacher a message and give him a warning. Well, I went to church for 2 more weeks, you know, and I didn't say anything because I always, when I see stuff like that or hear stuff or know stuff, I know where it's coming from, but I want confirmation that it is from the Lord, that I have
Right.
to give this message because I don't want to do fear porn, shock and,
Yeah.
just and everything. But I thought, well, I can go tell him because he's a man of God. See, he's a man of God
Right.
and he teaches. But what the Lord
Mhm.
told me to tell him was to quit telling everybody on Sunday when he's at the pulpit, if the Lord comes right now, you get to go. He told me to tell the preacher that that's not true because not everybody's living the way they're supposed to. So no, you're lying to your congregation. You're being lukewarm.
Right.
And when I
Right.
told the preacher that, he asked me what I was snorting, and I said the Holy Ghost, and out the door I went. So that being said, then I went to another church, which I'll say that church was Baptist. So then I went to the other church, what I was raised in and stuff, which was Pentecostal. Well, after I done went through all the other stuff that I did and seen the things that I've seen throughout my life, I was very cautious of what I said.
Yeah.
But the Lord told me to come up out of her so that I did not partake in their sins. And I said, what do you mean by
Mhm.
that? And he said, nobody in this church has togetherness. It's like I was going to
Right.
their church and I was trying to talk and to them in private, not in front of the congregation or nothing. It was all private stuff. Well, they were talking bad about me and calling me crazy and all this stuff, but yet they're supposed to be Christians. So the Lord told me to come up out
Right.
of it, told me to get away from them because they were
Yeah.
lukewarm and that they weren't good people, even though they got a church and they say they're this way and that
Yeah.
way. But now there are good churches out there.
Yeah.
Let me just say that. But
There
there are,
are. There are. And
I was
if you don't
shown.
mind, just real quick, I would like to also add to that because I've recently made a Facebook post in my group about Catholics being the most duped of all of us. And I don't want anybody that is Catholic to take offense to that. I wasn't intending to put Catholic practitioners down by any means. You know, I was just simply saying that because of this, and this that is provided to the Catholic belief system, that it makes them more easily to be just duped or not want to ask questions or look further or whatever it is,
They'll
because it's
be
a more
they'll be
comfortable religion. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way for anyone. I don't want them to take offense to that because there are good Catholics and bad Catholics. There are good Christians and bad Christians. There's good Muslims, bad Muslims, you know, good white
well,
people,
can I
bad
tell
white
you what
people,
I was
so on and so
told?
forth. Right.
I'll tell you
Yes.
what I was told.
Yes.
I was told that religion is man-made. God's word
Right.
is truth. But that
Right.
religion, like being a Catholic or being a Muslim or being agnostic or
Hmm.
being this or that or whatever, even
Yeah.
Baptist, whatever you want to claim to be, Pentecostal. And I was raised Pentecostal, but I seen a lot of
Because
stuff
it's
in the church growing up too.
organized,
Yeah, it's
organized religion,
organized
right? So
religion.
it's like it's your slavery,
And they
right?
control you. They control you through
It's
it.
a control.
They control
Yeah,
the
it's a control.
congregation, the people, the
Hmm.
people, the
Right,
church. We are the
right.
body of
And
Christ.
actually, that right, but that's a better word actually, is the control than just for me to say duped, right? That the Catholic people are duped
No, they are
easier.
controlled.
They're controlled easier, and they don't even realize it. Like they really just don't realize it, and I feel
No,
bad for them
no,
for
they're
that.
asleep.
So
They're asleep.
I don't say it with derogatory intention. I say it because I genuinely feel bad for them, because they're good people.
Okay.
They're good people.
Let me set an example. The church my son goes to, My son's in Bible college. He's going to be an apostolic Pentecostal preacher and stuff, and I'm very proud of him. But the church he goes
Episcopal.
to, now you got me messed up.
Episcopal.
No,
Episcopal.
it's not that.
It's not that.
That is not even. It is not that. No, just Pentecostal. That's all I'm gonna say. Apostolic Pentecostal. So anyway, that got me messed up on my words. Anyway, the
Sorry.
church he goes to,
I'll just feed my face.
they got it together. That is a good church. They got it together. It's together.
Good.
It's togetherness. That church is of love and light. That church holds revivals. They have been. They got it going on there. They can do deliverance and everything there. Okay. They really can.
Great.
And it is really good. No, I was shown a lot of preachers, even TV preachers, they're in so much trouble. I can't say who they are, but I was shown some stuff, and all I know is they better get right. They better get right. They better get right.
Yeah.
But the Lord told me that he said he wasn't in those churches. He's not in the churches because they are not preaching the way they should be preaching, and they hold the truth back. They don't tell people the truth. Like when they read the scripture,
right?
Then they start telling a story, but they're telling their story, not the story, not the truth. Right. So it leads your congregation astray. See, I was told all that stuff. So I come up out of the church and stuff. And just like I thought, well, I'll try to go. I'll try to go down here to this one. And every time I go down there, they talk about, am I on pause?
Nope. Keep talking.
So every time I go down there, the preacher will bring up how we're supposed to come up and confess our sins. And he talks about lust. Well, they don't realize that I'm an empath and that I'm clairvoyant. And his wife thinks I'm lusting after him. So I quit going to the church.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, when I first walk in, they're real nice to my face. And then after you know, you can't really talk to nobody during church. So afterwards, I try to talk to them, and they turn their backs to me.
Right.
They're very two-faced, and they're in a whole lot of trouble.
Right. I agree. There's a lot of people who are supposed to be teachers and leaders to help spread God's message that aren't doing their job properly. I agree 100%.
No, they're not. They're in trouble. They're in trouble.
Talking about the portal.
When I was in the UFO,
the different realms.
Oh, okay. Well, I can see into other realms.
Yeah.
And I've been into other realms. And I do not know if let me see how I can say it. I don't know if I walked into their portal and they opened it up for me, or I was, or what, but and I wasn't asleep during none of this. I was wide awake, but I was sitting at a big jacuzzi tub, and I was relaxing, you know, because that's what them big jacuzzi tubs are for. And I didn't have bubbles or nothing like that. I was just kind of chilling, you know. And all of a sudden, I was in the water, and I am Aquarius, so I'm a water barrier. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, but I was in the water and they took me into a whole nother realm, and they showed me I felt like I was on another planet, but they showed me this, and because behind it, I could see uh, a moon, but it was real close to where we were at. But I was on this planet,
Mm-hmm.
and there was humans and aliens walking together. There was both. And when I looked around, I didn't see
Right.
cars. There were no cars. Everything was pretty high up, like almost like what you see in the movie. You know what you
Right.
see in the movies and stuff. And I was told
Yeah.
too that I was also told that um a, a lot of the truth they put in movies, because anytime that you have
Mm-hmm.
something that's from the darkness, okay, and anytime that you have anything that's from the darkness, they have to tell the truth to the light. And so they put it in the movies, and people think, oh, it's just a movie. No, there's truth in it. And I've known that since I've been a little girl.
Right.
I mean, all the way back to
Right.
about age of 2. Now I can
Yeah,
see
because that's
me
the
when I was a
law.
baby. Yeah, they have to tell you. And
Yeah.
so anyway, um, they showed me that, and I looked at them, and I was like, talking telepathically again. I was like, and see, we can all do that. It's just that what I was telling you in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning about the generations, it takes 2 generations to dumb you down, to dumb people down.
Or to
And
smarten
that's
you
what
back
they've
up.
done every generation since the beginning of time. They've done it since the
Yeah.
beginning of
Or to,
time.
that's why this
And
is the
like,
Great
okay,
Awakening, because it's
when
time
I
for us to change that.
when I was in school, from elementary all the way to high school, I could
Mm-hmm.
not stand history. Now, don't get me wrong, I liked
Ah,
history
me
and
neither.
science and all that, but I couldn't stand it because I would have to argue with the teacher and say that is not
Yep.
true. That did not happen. Columbus did not find America. Y'all need to quit lying about that crap.
Yep.
She's like, it's in the books. It's in
Yep.
the books. I said, well, it's all lies. She said, what makes you think
Yeah, we
that?
need.
And that's when my dad told me to zip it, keep my mouth shut,
Yep.
because uh and he told me, he said, Candy, they are going to come and take you. They will take you away from me. And my dad would freak out over that stuff. He just told me to zip it, do it,
Mm-hmm.
do whatever they say, just make it through it. So when I was
Yep.
young, I had to learn how to block it and not see things, and the things that I did see or that I did know, I could not say. I mean, I couldn't say nothing to nobody but my dad.
Right.
Because my oldest brother that passed away, one of my oldest brothers, because I have 3 older brothers, and but the one that passed away, he told me, he said, Candy, how come you never told me nothing? I said, I have told you things over the years. I said, but you just look at me like I'm crazy. He said, well, yeah, but I still believe you. And I said, well, I just
I
quit
think it just
telling
spooks
anybody
people.
anything. It does.
Yeah. I think it just
My two
spooks
younger
them
sisters asked me not to tell them nothing. They didn't want to know.
because it scares them. Yeah.
It does scare them. But I told them they had to let go of the fear
Mm-hmm.
and accept things for how they are. And they said they would accept it whenever their time come. And I said, well, okay then.
Yeah. And
But
that's the
it's been
thing
hard
too.
on
We
me.
we also, right, even though it's difficult on us because we feel so different and alone, we also have to learn that acceptance of other people that aren't ready to hear it, right? And that's a really hard lesson for us because it's very painful for us to feel so alone. But at the same time, we
Yeah,
have to
because
find
I've
that
been I've
compassion
been
and give
alone
them
my whole
space.
life.
Yeah,
I bet. Okay. Both my kids are very
yeah,
spiritual. Both my kids are like me. And it
yep,
bothers my daughter. My daughter knows, and my daughter has seen the things that I've seen too. Not as much,
yeah,
but she has. She's seen the stuff in the
right,
woods and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah. And all 7 of my children all have these abilities to some level or another. But that doesn't mean that all of them want to use it, embrace it, accept it, like it. Some of them are absolutely terrified of it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have to learn to give them their space and not push what we know on other people just because we do know something more. And that's a difficult lesson.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. And I think people that are out here uh doing all the ghost hunting and the
Yeah,
Bigfoot and all that kind of stuff, they don't realize what they've done or what they're doing. They help
right.
bring stuff through.
Yeah. And they're bringing things home. Those ghost hunters and even people
Yeah.
that like
Oh yeah,
visit
they
haunted
can.
houses and stuff around Halloween for fun. They pay money to go visit these places and then they bring home attachments. Ridiculous
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. It's really not a
because
good
they're not
thing.
taught. And that's something we need to change because it needs to be normal conversation. It needs to be naturally taught to our kids. Spirits are real. That realm is real. And it does bleed over into ours. And we need to respect it.
Yeah, well, see the veil. That's another thing. I can see behind the veil, and the veil is getting very,
Yeah.
very, very thin. And once it lifts up and it's gone,
Uh,
and not just the veil over your eyes, but the veil in general. Like,
Right.
okay, I seen
That,
stuff.
that divides the realms.
Yeah, I seen stuff coming through the veil up in the sky. I seen an arm and a
Mm-hmm.
hand. I seen a whole person emerge through the veil from the sky,
Mm-hmm.
and they were on a cloud.
Right.
And that was during a storm here recently.
Yeah.
At somebody's birthday party, sitting out in their Zen garden on their deck. I looked up and I seen an arm and a hand. And next thing you know, it's like a person on a cloud. And they were looking down on us, but they kept on moving. It was a
Huh.
dark cloud.
Somebody's birthday party.
Yeah.
Well, well,
Probably. It's the only birthday party I've been to.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I got pictures. I think I got pictures of it too.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Yeah.
I was taking pictures and stuff. Yeah. And when I enlarged the picture, I mean, I seen it visually with my eyes, but then I didn't
Mm-hmm.
say nothing because I'm like, okay, I'm tripping. It was just a cloud. But then when I got it home and I enlarged it, I was like, that is the real thing, what
You're
I
like,
seen.
oh
Because
hell no.
you can see it coming through the veil of the sky up above. You can
Yeah.
see it coming through,
But
and it catches a ride on the cloud, but it was looking down on us, but it just kept on going.
yeah. But when that veil is
Pardon me, I had to have a drink.
completely no problem. When the veil is completely lifted, people that aren't mentally and spiritually prepared for that are not going to really fare so well. And I don't say that
No, that's
lightly,
where.
and I don't say that to encourage any kind of fear in anyone. That's just really
No, me
matter of
either. Me
factly and
either.
and quite sad to me.
Well, it's going to be scary, even people that don't have fear, that understand it, they're still going to have fear because there's going to be things that come through there that they didn't think was real.
Right.
That
Exactly.
is real.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this, a lot of people believe that Bigfoot and the werewolf and all that and the vampires and stuff is all imaginary shit, and that, excuse my French, imaginary
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and that uh uh oh well, they're not this and they're not that. Oh yes, they are. And they are flesh and blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they do have powers. And I
Right.
think that's okay.
Yeah,
And if people want to know biblically, I feel like the reason that Sasquatch, the mother's mitochondrial DNA is human, but the father side, they've even went all the way down to the nuclear testing. The father side, they can't detect it, and that's because they're part Nephilim, as it says, as in the days of Noah. There were giants also in those days and also after that, and that's because they weren't all here on Earth. Do you hear something?
no, I was just watching my candle finish burning out. It did an extra puff of smoke for some reason.
Oh, okay. Probably because they're listening like, poof, she's telling the truth.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like a little train kind of poof out,
Yeah.
out the holder.
Poof,
It was
she
kind of neat.
knows it.
Yeah.
But people think that I'm not a godly person and all this because, well, how do you have those abilities or how do you know these things? You must be demonic. No, I'm not. I am a child of God
Yeah.
and I am love and
I'm kind of
light.
sick of that line. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sick of that
I'm pretty
line
much
too
over it.
because,
Yeah.
yeah,
If they only knew the
you
work
know,
we do.
yeah, and it's draining.
It is.
I have to take a lot of
It is. It
vitamins.
can
Oh, and that's another thing too. Just to let everybody know you
make
need to
a
get
girl
off.
tired.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
got off all my pharmaceutical medications and stuff that were hindering me.
Yeah.
The only thing I only take I have Neurontin and for my legs. I don't take them every day. I might take, two a day every now and then, maybe once a week or twice a week. But that's only if I really have
Yeah.
to. And other than
Yeah,
that,
but
I've
less
been
is
off all my.
more. Right.
I quit all my medicine in January, and I feel a lot better. I'm fighting
Yeah.
through the pain. I have a lot of pain, but you know, that's the kind of work I did for 38 years, working in the medical field. And when I first started out in the medical field, we didn't have Hoyer lifts and all that kind of stuff like they do now. You had to do everything
Right.
physically, you know.
Hmm.
And so always kept me in good shape, I might add. But as far as like
Yeah.
my body, it took a toll on me. But
Right.
I've always been the way that I am. I was born this way. And that's like what I'm saying. When I said earlier about their language, that doesn't
Hmm.
mean for people to go out and look up Afrikaans or whatever and start learning to speak it and all this and that, because you might call something in that is very powerful.
Yeah. Don't go messing with things
Because
if you don't know what you're doing. Yeah.
yes,
Great advice.
well, I say that because when I when they
Hmm.
showed me what it was and I did translator and I let it speak out, they sent scorpions to me. They
Yeah.
sent scorpions to me.
But, and again, that goes back to, the jinn. The scorpions are connected with the jinn, and right. Like that's one
Yeah,
of their,
and it's biblical too.
what would you
Yeah.
call that? Spirit
Mhm.
animals or whatever. Flies.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep. And I'm not
Yeah.
telling people not to go to church. I'm just telling people you have to really discern the spirit.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
have
Use your
discernment.
discernment. Absolutely.
And I have discernment. I've had that ever since birth. Everything that I'm talking about, I mean, I was just born this way. You know,
Right.
I've just always known. I've always known. And the
I
things
was,
that I wasn't for sure about, I got shown back in from 2000 and 2020 to 2021, hot and heavy. It
Right.
wasn't just like one or two little spirits coming in and out or shadow people or anything. I'm talking
So
uh I got visited
heavy duty artillery.
heavy. Yes. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it was something. I'm lucky to
Yeah.
be here,
So
put it that way.
you are. And on a lighter note, when you said you're born with it, I thought of that Maybelline. Is it Maybelline commercial? Is it Maybelline? Are you
Yeah.
born with it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Baby, you were born with it.
Yeah. And what I was talking about before we got cut off, when I went up into the ship with the one
Oh
people,
yeah.
I won't okay,
Tall whites.
these okay, the ones I'm talking about, like they could look like Palladians, but
Mm.
these were really tall people. They were human, but their hair was so white it was fluorescent or translucent, I want to say. Uh
Right.
now
What are they called?
they're the ones that were good to me and stuff. But see, so were the tall whites that look like grays. Okay, now I never had no encounters with them until I was on that farm there in Greenville, Indiana.
Um, well, I did because that's who always took me when I was a kid. Was the really tall white? They look like the grays with the big almond eyes, except they're
Yes,
lighter
yes,
and they're always very good to me. Very, very good to
yeah. Okay, they
me.
were
They
good to
have
me.
to be some
You know
kind
what
of
they
good
did? They
guy,
put me in a big
you
tub.
know.
They put me in this big tub of
That's it.
water, and while I was sitting there, they must have abducted some other people from around there because I seen one lady,
Sure.
and it looked
Yeah.
like they put them into like a CAT scan machine, but she was crying,
Yes.
help me. And I kept telling her, honey, it'll
Right.
be okay. You're fine. They're not going to hurt you. But I was telling her
Right.
telepathically, but she was looking up at
Yep.
me. She could see me and I could
Yep.
see her. And I was like, in my mind, I was thinking, what are they going to do with her? And they said, she's not going to get hurt. And I said, okay. I went back to swimming in that big old tub of water thing they had me in
Yeah.
because they just let me chill. They were
Right.
very,
I kind of
they were
like.
they were interested in me.
Yes, they were with me too. But I always felt like that big vat of water that they would set us in, let us be in,
Yeah.
was some type of like decontaminate thing. It always felt like a sterilization process or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Between worlds,
Yeah.
between the
Uh-huh.
ship
Uh-huh.
and our world, whatever. That's what it felt like to me. Some kind of like
There's a
decontamination
yeah. They asked me who
type
I
of
work
thing,
for, and I said,
right?
I don't work for nobody. I'm retired. That's what I told them. I said, I'm retired. I work for
That's so
myself.
well,
I said,
they knew
I
who
done
I
it.
work for because
And
they've been taking me since I was little.
yeah. Yeah. Well, see, I had never really met them. I was going with the other ones, but I have not seen them other ones
Yeah.
since I went with the tall whites. And they told me we just
Right.
tolerate these humans.
Right, because they don't really they're kind of impartial. They really sort of have a disdain for us in one way, but in another way they have this weird compassionate thing for us. So it's like a conflict of
Yes.
interest. I feel
Yeah,
about it.
they don't really
But
want to
the
hurt
other
us.
ones, right.
They don't
But
like
they
the
get
mean
irritated with us.
humans.
And I can relate.
See, I
Like I
could
can
relate
relate
to them too. Yeah, they told me they wasn't gonna
100%.
hurt me.
Like I feel you. I feel you. But the other tall white ones with the like see-through, the transparent type hair, they were like Anshar. How do you say that? Anshar.
Anashara. It's
But
Anashara.
right, right.
Anashara.
Yeah. But that
Yeah.
I think that's the same
Now,
thing that Corey Good talks about that he calls like the Anshar, right?
yeah, yes, that's them. Yep, yep, yep. See,
Mm,
when you say certain things, it pops in my memory
yep,
bank. Like, oh, okay, I know who you're
yep,
talking about. Uh,
right,
but sometimes I forget because I'm just like by myself and you know, just
right.
like
But they had like
whatever.
translucent hair, right?
Very, yeah,
And I
yeah.
find that very interesting. And I
I find it
wonder,
very
this has got to be true. This has got to
Would
be
you
true
go
for you and
away?
your family too, because our family lineages are very similar, where we both have Native American quote unquote royalty in our bloodline, among other things. But
Oh
what
yeah,
I've
yeah.
noticed in my what I've noticed in my family is that we all of us, I mean, my hair has just about all turned completely white, this weird translucent white, you know. And but when I was younger, I would get like a sprig here and a sprig there, and they would be extra curly, right? Extra curly, long, see-through hairs. And
Okay. Well,
everybody in
I
my
have natural.
family gets these long, see-through hairs like that. But they always said that that's the Native American in our bloodline. But I think it goes back further than Native American, don't you?
It does. It does because like my hair is really long and it looks straight. It looks straight, but
Yeah,
it's not. I have
yeah,
natural curly hair, and the only reason
yeah.
it's like
Me
this
too.
because I
Red,
straightened
it
it.
curls up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got
when mine's
yes.
red,
My
it's
hair's
curly.
natural curly, and my daughter's is natural
Hmm.
curly, and my son's was kind of wavy when he was little, but he graduated barber school too, and so he's got the military haircut. Uh,
But do they get the transparent white hairs?
yeah, yeah, I've got a couple right running a patch that just came through. It's running right
Yeah.
here,
Like
but I color my
some
hair.
people when they get them, they think it's just gray hair coming in. But I've had these hairs coming in since I was 8, 9, 10 years old, and I have an 8-year-old that has those same hair coming out in her hair now, in her scalp. The
Well,
very
I'll tell
same
you this:
translucent.
when I was
I mean, it's
when I
literally
was a
see
young
through, like a
girl,
fiber optic.
well, when I was a young girl, my hair okay. When I was little, my hair was real white like yours. Then it got
Yeah,
darker as I got older.
yeah. So
But
was mine.
then,
Me too.
if I go swimming, if I spend a lot of time in the sun or out swimming, my hair will lighten up
Yeah,
to where it's almost a dirty dishwater blonde. Believe it or not, this is the reason it's
yeah.
so dark is because, well, first of all, I'm getting a lot older
You've
and
been
I've
coloring it.
colored my hair. My hair's been red,
Mhm.
blonde, black, brown, you name it.
Right,
So,
right, right.
I've
But
experimented with
you
hair
get
color and stuff.
but you've got those translucent hairs. I have those translucent hairs. What I'm getting to is I wonder if there's some kind of like a lineage connection with the Anashara
Oh, the
people.
Anshara, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. They came to me 7 years ago and showed
Did they
me who
tell
they
you?
were.
Did they tell you they have any type of relation to any humans, any Earthlings?
No, well, they here's what they said. In time we will know. That's what I got told. In time you will know.
Well, that's kind of a yes, don't you think? That sounds
Huh?
like a yes. That sounds like a yes
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, they didn't want to come right out and tell me anything major like that. They told me just they said and this was 7 years
Don't you
ago.
hate it when they
Just
do
know
that?
that you have come into your they told me I came into my silver lining. And I kept saying, well, what do you mean
Right?
silver lining? Silver lining. Be define silver lining. And they wouldn't. They just said silver lining.
Hmm.
And I asked them if we were like them or how does that work? And they said in time you'll know. So when they brought me
Hmm.
back, I woke up immediately. It was like when they took me, I had just dozed off. So then I woke back up. So then it was like I was awake again. So when they brought me back, they had me asleep, but then I was right back up like within 5 seconds. It was like, oh
Right.
my God.
Can I
And I
ask you
watched them take off.
the reason you woke up? What was the reason you woke up? Was it because you felt a boom, like you just got dropped back in your bed again? Or was it like an electricity tingling thing that woke you up? Or did you just wake up spontaneously? Like, what caused you to wake up?
They told me it was time to go back. And I guess they thought I was, back asleep or whatever, and they was bringing me in. But as soon as they brought me through that window or wall or whatever, they brought me in through the side of the house. When they brought me in,
Right.
and before I even laid on the mattress, I woke up. And it's like as I went
Okay.
down, I jumped up, but they was already gone and they were lifting off. That's how fast I woke up. Because I thought
Yeah.
this is
I've
not
done
a
that too.
dream. This is really happening.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah, I
seen a
did that
green
too. When I jumped
hue.
up,
I seen like
I was going to ask you
fog
what
and
it
a
looked like.
green hue. Yeah. And then I watched them go up real slow. But now they haven't been back to see me. That was 7 years ago. If they
Was there, hold
have,
on, was there any kind of a shape, like an outline to the craft that you
yeah.
could
Oh, I
see
can
other
draw
than the green?
pictures.
So was it
It
like
was
circular, triangular? What was the shape?
okay. It was like if you take two plates, like serving plates.
Okay.
Okay, let me set an example. Say it's Thanksgiving and you need a good big serving plate to put that turkey on. You know how
Okay.
they're kind of oblong, oval,
Right.
an oval
Yeah.
plate. Take two oval
Yeah.
plates and put one on top of the other, upside down,
Okay.
and then take um a can and lay it on top of that. That's what, like, it was
So
it
it
was
was
big.
it was oval,
Yeah,
like an
like that.
oval, and it had like some type of almost like a round chimney or something on the top of it. Is that what you're
Yeah, but
saying? Kind of like a
it was laid
submarine.
long ways on it. Huh?
Was it kind of like a submarine, except not?
No, it wasn't a submarine looking one.
Okay.
I've seen those. Those are silver. Uh
Okay.
this
Okay.
was gray silver with a green hue uh emanating from it. And on top was like if you take a can and don't stand it up but lay it on its side.
Oh, I
Like if
got
a
you.
can
Like this way instead of like
yeah,
that way.
that way.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like it
I
was three
gotcha.
layers, like three levels, like three
Like a
stories. But
okay,
it was
like a big
big.
round tunnel
Yeah.
or pipe or
Yeah. And
yeah.
listen,
Okay.
here's what's weird. When I first went on there with them, when I first went with them, I couldn't believe I was seeing them. I said, "Oh my God, I get to see you now."
Right.
And they said, "Well, yeah." But I couldn't really see them because they was on each side of me. And we went up the ramp. And when we went in, I was going to go to the right. And they said, "Oh, no, you're not going that way." And I said, "Well, I want to go this way." Like, that's the way I always went, like it was routine. And they told me, no, I was
Right.
going to this other area. And when they took me in this area, it reminded me of like if I came over and we hung out in the kitchen.
Okay.
But all the walls were, everything in there was smooth. It was a real smooth surface. Like if I had roller skates, I could have roller skated in there. It's how smooth it was. But
Right.
when I asked them, what is this? Why are we here? And they said, it can be anything you want it to be. And I said, well, I'm used to being in the kitchen. And so it turned into the kitchen,
Right.
my
That's cool.
thought, my, yeah, but it was
Yeah.
all, I mean, it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
nice. It was a nice one. So it
Yeah.
was like they were making me comfortable to my surroundings, what I was used to.
Hmm. Right.
And they
Right.
did not want me going down that corridor for
Yeah.
some reason. I kept wanting to go down that corridor, and they kept telling me no, we were going to stay in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And when I talk about the top of it, that's where I would go and look out the windows when we would fly around and stuff. When they show me stuff, and they
Right.
would tell me a lot. Now they're the ones that always told me everything. But now the
They're the
tall
ones that showed you
whites,
the destruction. Right.
yeah, they're the ones that showed me a lot of destruction stuff. That
Yeah.
stuff that's coming to the world because the people will not
Yeah.
wake up and come together and unite together for
Right.
love and light. Now they said,
Right.
wait a minute now. they said
Yeah.
things are written. We could stop a lot of stuff. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We could
Mm-hmm.
stop a lot of
Right.
destruction. But
Right.
because nobody can come together, it will bring
Yes.
everything to fruition. Everything will start like it's written, it's gonna happen that way.
It'll be forced. It'll be forced. Because what I was shown
Yes.
when I was little, what I was shown from the time I was little was that we, just like the Hopi prophecy, we would have the two roads where we can stay on the same road. If that's what the collective chooses to do, we can stay on that same road, but then change is going to be forced upon you because one way or another, we're changing, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
It's a cyclical,
And that's why,
has to happen
yes.
thing. Or we can take the
Yeah,
high
you're
road where
right.
we learn who we are and we connect to spirit again, and we grow, collectively grow, and it won't have to be destructive. It doesn't have to be destructive. And that's what I keep trying to tell everybody, is that we could stop this. Like, yes, there's a binary star, and yes, it has its whole own system with it, solar system. And yes, all of those things are most definitely affecting our sun at this moment and our planet, and are going to get much worse. But we can stop it. And all we have to do is collectively grow. That's all we have to do. It's like light workers
Yeah.
like myself, we're doing other things that are helping to like keep really
Yeah,
bad
that
stuff at bay. But we can only do so much because inevitably it has to
yes.
be the collective choice. Yes. We have to
Well,
collectively choose to change,
eventually, if all the
or
light
it gets
workers don't come
worse.
together, eventually, if all the light workers don't come together, we're going to have to come
Yeah,
together to survive
that's right.
because all the other people,
Because
yeah, we have to come.
I was shown the two scenarios. Yeah, we can be like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome kind of living, where we congregate in small communities to survive, or we can do this the other way and we can create a more peaceful, beautiful world and not have to have the destruction. Absolutely. And see, when I was younger, I, just like you, I was always trying to like push it into people's face and get them to listen, get them to wake up. And then as I got older and gained more knowledge and more wisdom and life experience, I started to understand how that acceptance thing comes into play, not just in our own personal life with, our siblings or our children or whoever isn't ready to wake up and embrace their natural gifts, but the collective, the people at large in the public, they don't have to wake up. They don't have to. And we can't hate them for that. We can't be mad at them for that. We can't try to force them to do it by fear mongering or whatever else. It's full acceptance that we're all in this together one way or another.
Yeah,
One
people
way or
have to
another.
wake up.
I mean, they do
Yeah,
need
and
to,
if
but
they,
we can't force it on them. Is what I'm saying. Like we can't be
yeah,
angry with them if they don't, because it's just the way it's going to have to go.
well, we
It's
can
that
also let
simple.
people know
It was
that,
really hard for me to learn that.
yeah,
Being
yeah, I
so
was pretty
compassionate about
young.
everybody. I didn't want that.
Hmm. Well, people will tell you that they want it and they want to come together and they want to do this and they want to do that,
Right.
but they
You
can't
don't.
quit doing, heavy
Whatever.
drugs and stuff. And I'll tell you this
It's
too.
not
I
even just
asked the
drugs,
Lord,
though. It's gaming, it's TV, it's what,
yes,
drinking for sport, whatever. I mean, all of their sports, they're just stuck in their sports, right? Like they don't want to do the work. They say they
okay,
want it. They
you know how
say that
everybody
this
watches,
is what they want to do, but nobody
hmm
changes. Nobody's really. I mean, I can't say nobody, but a lot of them.
we
I
won't
look
say,
in my
we won't,
business. I talk to thousands of people every year. And out of that thousands of people, 1% does anything to change. 1%.
that's
And you
because
can't be
people
mad
get
at them.
discouraged and they feel like they can't. And, I mean, I know life
Yeah.
happens and stuff. And I know
Yeah,
that
and that's
we
what I'm saying. You
question,
can't be mad at them for it.
no. Um,
It's sad.
and you do have to watch who you let into your home. You need to
Yeah.
watch who you let
Or
into
just
your
your
home.
energy
It could be a
and your energy.
neighbor or anything. Yes. They can be carrying stuff
Yeah.
with them and it decides to stay because maybe your spouse
Well,
or your neighbor, somebody's more evil. Look, they might be all nice and good to your face, but they're really evil behind. There's things that people do that we don't see. And if they're
that's very true.
carrying bad stuff, they can bring it to your house and bring it with to you.
That's
You know,
true.
like
It's
like
true.
I met a girl that was my neighbor at my old place I lived at, and she was by herself and stuff, and she kept saying she was like me and this and that because her and I did talk spiritual and things. But come to find out,
Yeah.
she's really going on the dark side. Okay.
Right.
And she brought stuff to my
Right.
house, and it took me a whole week to get it out of here.
Right. And there are people that they just have darkness in their heart and their thoughts and they don't even realize. Like it doesn't have to be a different entity attached to them that they're bringing into
No,
your
it could
home.
be
They could be bringing
they
into
got
your
a dark
energy.
soul
They just
too.
have a dark side. Yeah, they just have a dark side to them that they cater to sometimes. So you do have to be very protective with your energy and your home and, everything like that. And, shielding. That's why I teach people shielding techniques and things like that because those things are important to use and put in place because you don't ever
Yes, I
really
put
know.
the white
It's
light and
hard
armor
to
of God on every day and night. I put on the armor of
exactly.
God
I
and
mean,
I
and it's
surround myself in the white light and everything. I have a great
right,
big white
right.
light going
Because
around me.
yes, because even with us being empaths and being energy readers, even we can be duped by people who are pretending to be one way. Because anytime somebody's pretending to be a certain way, they've automatically put up a natural shield that they don't even know that they can control. But they just shielded themselves and put that mask on to where you don't
Okay,
know that
let
they
me
have
set
bad
an
intentions.
example for
Right.
okay, let me set an example. Like that neighbor girl I was telling you about. She
Right.
knew how to put up a shield, but in my spirit, I kept feeling doubt about her.
Right.
Like
Right. But not
I kept
everybody's going to be able to
even
do
I
that.
was giving
We could.
her the benefit of the doubt. Even though
Yeah.
I knew there was something not right, I just let it go. And
Yeah.
needless to say, she
Because
has
we
never
even
been
we
back.
right, because even we are guilty of not always listening to our intuition for the sake of giving people the benefit of the doubt, for the sake of the kindness of our
Yes.
heart. Yeah. And so
Look,
everybody can be
I am
duped.
humble.
Discernment is crucial at this time.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I was discerning her, but I was like, I felt sorry for her. And it's to the point
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly.
Even if you feel sorry for somebody, you can still have compassion and help that person in any and every way.
Hmm.
But
But
I could
from
not
over
allow
there.
her to come. Yeah, from a distance. From a
Yeah.
distance.
Like, I will help you, but you cannot come into my home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's like me. You know, as I've gotten older and stuff, I've become more reclusive. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't really
Less
talk to
trusting of
nobody.
people.
Yeah, like I only come to your house. That's it.
Mhm.
That's it. I really don't go nowhere else.
Yeah.
I don't go nowhere
I know,
else.
and I don't really go anywhere either. And that is also a common theme that I just kind of want to put out there for people that are listening that all of us feel that way. We're all rather reclusive, right? And we're all a little
Mm-hmm.
distrusting of people and we all feel alone. We're lonely because of it.
Oh,
So
and I would like
we
Mm-hmm.
let's offer this platform to people to come forward and share their stories and unite with us and not feel alone anymore.
Well, I want people to know that if you live in a big subdivision, like a neighborhood subdivision, uh, I want you to know that you could be best friends with your neighbor and your kids could go hang out with their kids and they could have sleepovers and this and that. But there might be stuff going on behind the scenes in that house of your neighbor that you are not aware of.
Yeah,
There could be really a
that's
hidden
true.
thing about your neighbor that you're not aware of. And what they do is
Yes.
when your kid goes and stays at their house, they take it out on your children, like
Yeah.
retaliation or or
Well,
humiliate you in front of others.
or even as far as like different levels of abuses and things that may be going on within the home. Even if they don't
Yeah,
actually abuse your children that are staying there, perhaps just the energy of the home itself would affect your child,
right. And I
right?
don't mean
Because
physical
that
abuse. I
negative
mean, I
energy,
mean with their words,
no, I
with
know,
their
but I'm saying
words.
also just the negative energy that would be within the dwelling if bad things go on behind closed doors that you aren't aware of, right? It's going to affect the children that are there for sleepovers and stuff. And I'm not trying to encourage people to not let their kids go do sleepovers and stuff anymore because I mean that's part of the great childhood thing to do, right? Just be
Yeah,
more discerning and more careful about where you let your children go because you never know really.
yeah.
And maybe they don't want to tell
Or who you
you.
let.
Maybe they would be afraid to tell you or to share it,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
that's true. And I do want to say, I am a woman of the outdoors. I grew up hunting, fishing, camping, boating, everything. And I love to camp. I'm an outdoors woman. I'm a country girl at heart. And I live in the country. And I'm used to going camping and being outdoors and all that. Uh, it is not safe. It's not safe anymore, really. Not unless you're in with a large group of people. It's not safe for just maybe one or two people to even go. Uh, I'd have at least four, five, six, seven people, and I would be packing. It's not safe because of the things that have been set free. The things that are coming. See, let
And
me explain
also,
it.
too, just things that are already really roaming our planet that are lurking in the shadows
Well,
that people
that's
don't
what I'm
want to believe
saying.
are real. Yeah,
Well, what has happened? They
because they
have
seem to
been
be getting more
laying.
bold.
Yeah, they are. They're coming in closer and closer.
Mm.
Uh, I can tell you about when I had my experience with some of the Bigfoot people, the Sabe. Uh, let me just tell you, uh,
Okay. Let's talk about
they're
that
just
story and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up because we're going on a little bit over an hour for the second half.
right. Well, I mean, you can do whatever you got to do, and we can save it for another thing because I mean, I have 56 years worth of stuff.
Right, I got you.
Mine is
Yeah.
not, oh, I woke up, I'm awake and I'm enlightened and it's only been like 5 or 6
Right,
years. We're talking 56 years
right,
worth of stuff that has not
right.
ever left
It's
this
mentioned.
brain.
Yeah.
Now, when they took me, they tried to wipe a lot of stuff out of me because a lot of people say I was abducted and they have to go into hypnotic
Mhm.
regression to remember the stuff. Now, there are some things I
Yeah.
probably uh uh that I put in my back here. It's laying
Cabinet.
dormant for a little
Mhm.
bit. Yeah, but it comes full force whenever I remember little pieces.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I usually don't forget too much.
Mm,
Now, I don't remember the stuff they've done to me, but we'll have to get into that and me tell them about the shards of glass, or the little shards of crystals, the two black little crystals that come up out of my head. Uh,
right.
and they were like, let me see how I can do this. So they were about like that tall, right there. They was real thin. They looked
Right.
like smoky quartz. And when I hollered to show Chris and everything, I hollered, "Hey, come here and check this shit out. I just got it out of my head." They flew right out of my fingers and vanished. Now, there wasn't nothing
Yeah.
on my rug. I just got done vacuuming. I even got down there on my hands and knees and was looking for it and still couldn't find them. But they just like flew
Yeah.
right out of my hand. And
Mm,
there was two of them. But now the scars have healed. I mean, it was like somebody took me and took it was almost like as if somebody, the when you go to the dentist and they poke your teeth and stuff with them pokey things, it was like somebody had
mm,
went right here, right there, straight back and over here to the side. It's always for some reason it's always my left side, but it's right in here, right in here, and my arms and my legs, and sometimes I wake up with bruises. And there's not nothing in bed with me other than blankets, so I don't know how I got them bruises. Uh,
yeah.
then I've had scratch marks and I've had all kinds of different stuff. Now, a lot of that hasn't happened since I've moved, other than I know I've been taken, but now I don't know who's taken me because I can't see them. I don't know, and it's not the blondes or the tall whites. And if it's the tall whites, they're not letting me see nothing. They're not letting me see
Right.
anything. But I know that it's happening because I'll wake up and my head will be in severe pain. I'll wake up with severe
Mm,
headaches, and I'll wake up with like a scab, like a sore
yeah.
in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've not been nowhere, done nothing, and it wasn't there the day before. My head wasn't hurting the day before. It wasn't
Yeah.
hurting when I went to sleep. So,
Right.
and it sometimes it takes a month for it to heal, or sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it'll heal real fast.
Yeah.
Like when those four
Yeah. It
incisions were
depends
on
on
the
what
inside of my
kind.
legs. Huh?
Yeah. I was saying it depends on what type of infliction it is, whether it's a fast healer or not.
I'm gonna tell you something. It's real freaky. Owls, flies, and birds are little tattletales. They are spies and tattletales for these things. And I just had a fly that has, ever since we've been talking about this topic, this one fly, I don't know where it even come
Keeps
from.
bugging you.
I just killed it. I went real
You just killed it.
slow. Yeah, I just smacked the
Yeah.
shit out of it.
Yeah.
Ugh. But yeah, we can I guess we can call it a night and do what you gotta do, sister.
Okay. Well, we're gonna do many more of these talks. I think we're gonna
Oh yeah.
call the whole show will be called Coffee Talk. And when you are on with me, it'll be Coffee Talk with Candy and Kelly. And I have several other guests lined up that are going to be talking with me as well and sharing their experiences. And we encourage anyone that's listening, if you want to share your story, to put a comment down below or hit me up in the email. Go to the website, sign up for a show. Candy and I would love to talk to you and let you have a platform to share your message and your story. Candy, thank you very much for being with me. I appreciate so much that you're going to be doing this journey with me as my good friend and an ambassador to an open platform for other people who are like us and don't have anybody to share it with.
Yeah, because I'm willing. I'm willing to talk to people. I'm willing to help you in any way, shape, or form I can. I'm not a rich woman, but I can help in many other ways. And I'm very open minded to hear what you have to say, and I don't doubt your words. Um, I just think
Yeah,
that it is not anything to lie about, to play around with,
yeah.
because
Or disrespect. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, because if you have people like me and you that do know the truth, that know the truth of the matter, and there's a lot of things that, you know, uh, have been brought to my attention when I do go with the blondes or the tall whites. Because I ask them questions and they tell me the truth. They don't lie to me. It's like they
right,
can't lie to you. They
right.
may not give you a direct answer. Like when I asked them, like, well, when's all this going to happen? They're like, if things don't change, it's going to be soon. Things like that. They'll say stuff like that. What do you hear?
Right. Oh, my dog is moving around over here.
Okay, Stanley.
Yeah.
Is it Stanley? I love Stanley.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Stanley moving around. He's like, "What? What are you talking about me for?" All right. Well, thank you very much. And all of
You're
the
very
viewers, thank you
welcome.
very much for tuning in. And we will see you again
Well, hopefully,
real soon.
yeah,
Go
and
ahead.
hopefully I'll have my iPad set up.
Yeah. And then we'll have even shaped pictures next to each other. I'm not trying to hog
and
the
I do
screen
want
from
to
Candy, guys.
I do want to throw this out there. I do have big brown eyes, and my eyes are not black because I look through my screen, and it kind of looks like my eyes are black, but I do have big brown
No,
eyes.
not to me. No, not to me. It doesn't look
Okay,
that way to me at all. Yeah. No
okay. I
worries.
just wanted to make sure, and
Yeah.
I'm of love and
No,
light.
no worries. But yes, you are big time. And we'll have to, on another segment, we'll have to talk about the block eyed people too. But for now, we're tuning out. And you guys, hope you tune in. And until we see you again, stay well and stay blessed in love and light.
Amen.